Hey there, Vanagon Addicts. This is Ken Wilford here at Vanagon, coming live and direct at you here on Friday, August 4th, 2017. Hope you guys are having a great week. We have been having a difficult week here this week. Nothing to do with the Vanagon stuff and things. That's been going great, and I definitely appreciate all you folks out there placing orders with us, order-wise and parts-wise and all that stuff. Everything is going excellent. My biggest problem right now is my dad. He was with us in the live stream a couple weeks ago, and you guys got to meet him. And some of you folks know him from, he was my right-hand man here at Vanagon for pretty much the entire time that we were doing this, the last 20 years. He's the one that taught me how to work on cars, how to do wiring and plumbing and everything else. And right now he's doing pretty terrible. So he's had multiple strokes, and he lives right across the street from where I am right now, my shop. And I had to pick him up off the floor this morning at 7 o'clock. He had been there since 3 o'clock. So that was terrible. My mom didn't want to bother me, so she just sat there and looked at him for 4 hours. And then today, just a few minutes ago, he was on the floor again, and so I had to go rush over there, drop everything, rush over there, and do it again. So hopefully we can get through some live stream without dealing with more of that, but I just want to let you guys know that's what's going on. So if you could say some prayers for him. His name is also Ken Wilford. He is Ken Wilford Sr. We would definitely appreciate it, and hopefully we can get a nurse or home health aide or something to help him out. And that will help me out as well. So, all right, so got through all that, and again, I apologize if you have a hard time getting me on the phone or something like that in the next few days. It's dealing with that stuff, okay? All right, so let's move on. So, trying to think. All right, I had one guy contact me about some stuff we talked about last week, which was the inside of the pop top, and one of the guys had asked, what would you do if you got rid of that little small, looks like fur on the inside of the pop top? And somebody suggested possibly using some undercoating from like a truck bed liner or something like that. One guy got in touch with me today and said definitely do not do that. Someone had did that on the inside of his Westie top already, and they went on a camping trip, and it basically rained on them while they were in there. So I would suggest the headliner that I had talked to you guys about before. Take the van to remove that. If it's totally garbage, remove it by, I don't know, washing it, scraping it as best you can, and then go to a automotive place where they do automotive headliners and get them to just replace the inside of the pop top, at least the top part. Replace that fur with headliner, okay, material, and you should be okay. That'll probably bring it back to the same effect as the little fur that was on there in the first place. All right, so do we have anybody shouting out to us on that? If you are here visiting with us, say hi in the chat. As always, we appreciate people donating to us and that kind of thing, but like I said, mostly I appreciate everybody making purchases this week. I know you guys have been doing it because we sold some of those dash cams that we talked about the last few weeks. We sold some more headlights this week. We actually updated, did a video a couple of days ago about the LED headlight for the square headlights, and they have been updated to a newer version that has promptly gotten sold out. So I have to get some more of them in. Also, I am doing a little experiment right now, and I'll show it to you guys real quick. I'm doing an experiment. We did the LED headlights for the rounds. Okay, and a lot of you guys bought them, and they've been working out really great for everybody. But there was a couple people that got in touch with me. They said, I have the South African headlight grill. I want to have LED lights for the outer headlight and also for the inner headlight. So I did a little looking around, and I found an inner light that I'm pretty sure is going to work. Let me go grab it real quick.
Inorganic is back and says hello. And then Steve says hello from Washington. He's on the beach today.
Oh, wow. I wish I was on the beach in Washington today. That would be awesome.
I know, right?
But have a great day there, Steve, definitely. So this is what we're looking at. Let me try to angle it so you're not seeing yourself or seeing me reflected again. This is an inner light. It's actually like a spotlight for, and apparently the amount of light energy that shoots out of this will propel your van in reverse because it's so powerful. It's going to, you're going to go to like warp factor 7 or something when you turn this thing on in reverse. So anyway, this is my experimental deal I got. It's aluminum housing. This is like plastic here in the front. And the other cool part about this is, it has all these lights. This is going to be your inner light. If you have a South African headlight, this crazy looking cross deal actually will like light up as yellow. So you can, if you have the outer lights that has, has a halo ring that can blink yellow, this inner cross will also blink yellow. So now you have 2 lights for your yellow light show of turn signalness that will impress everyone, right? I mean, it definitely would look cool.
It's like an X. Cool.
X marks the spot, man. That's where the party's at.
X for X-Men, and
yeah, excellent lights. So I ordered a South African grill, and I'm gonna try to install it with these lights and see what happens. So that'll probably be a video coming up this week. I was gonna try to launch our Patreon thing today, and I don't know. Maybe I should just do that right now.
Inorganic asks, curious about fuel pumps. Do you recommend OEM or aftermarket? Thinking of getting one to carry on board in case it goes out on a trip.
Okay, so fuel pumps, I would definitely always recommend the Bosch units over anything else. The Bosch ones that we have a 2-year warranty. So if you have a problem, you can definitely, you can definitely get us, we'll stand behind it for 2 years. Okay. So anyway, I would go with the Bosch units if you can afford it. They're like $199. The only thing I will say is the Bosch units are almost a aftermarket one at this point. Like the original ones had the little spade connectors. You just plug it on, boom, it's over. That was the original Bosches. The new Bosches you get have lug connectors on there, and it comes with 2 new connectors you can crimp on and some new boots and all this other stuff. That's exactly the same rig up as the aftermarket one. So in a way, it's kind of like, yeah, we've stopped making the Vanagon specific fuel pump. We're making this kind of more generic fuel pump. Another thing a lot of people don't know is if you're in a super emergency, okay, a fuel pump from a Mustang, I think fuel injected from the 80s will also work on a Vanagon. So yeah, and you can pick up a Mustang fuel pump from the 80s. I think at Napa, they usually have one in stock. So that's what I'm mentioning. Now, would I recommend that as your fuel pump that you use for your main fuel pump? Maybe not. But if you were broke down and you needed one like immediately, then that would be something to look into. All right. So, but definitely if you got the money and you got some time, I would get a Bosch unit. I mean, we have them available, and they're about $199. That's the cheapest I can do because, they're not cheap. Okay, they're not cheap. All right, so I went ahead and launched our Patreon, and you can go there. Let me show it to you guys real quick. Let me go back in here. And what Patreon is, let me do screen share. Boom. And then it's going to do screenception forever. Okay, now we're going to go over to Patreon. So if you guys aren't familiar with Patreon, what Patreon is a way for people to support us, okay? And what that is going to allow us to do is make more videos, which we definitely want to do. We definitely want to make ones that you guys want us to make. So basically, if you become a supporter, we have different levels. You have our entry-level support, $5 a month, okay? What that would give you is any videos that we make with Patreon support, your name will be named in the credits. And that'll be on you know, that will be on YouTube like pretty much forever, into the foreseeable forever land. All right. Then we have, that's our entry level, $5 a month. Okay. Our second was the more serious level. That is $10 a month. And that means you get your name mentioned in the credits. And also, if you have ideas for videos, we will try to make them within the month, as long as it's not like, hey, Ken, make a video about how to completely restore a Vanagon. Or, hey, let's make a video about how to rebuild a motor from scratch. Yeah, those videos will take me like probably months to do. So something like that, no. But if you're one of these serious, more serious level supporters, $10 a month, and you say, hey, I want to see how to do a compression test. Okay, I mean, I can definitely make a video about that and do it maybe even the day that you ask for, or within that week, or even within the month. Then the final level we have is our Vanagon Addict level. That is $20 a month. And when you do that, you get something I think that's going to be way worth more than $20 a month, which is 10% discount code from Vanagon.com. And so I'll give you that code. Anything that you want to buy through the store, you'll get 10% off. That's going to add up to a lot of money. Like if you buy, $200 worth of stuff in a month, there's your $20 back. Okay, so if you buy $1,000 of stuff in a month, you get $100. That's enough to pay you back for 5 months. So you see what I'm saying? It is like definitely a big deal. All right, that would be $20 a month. And of course, you get the free t-shirt when we finally get them available. We're still working on that. And then all the previous rewards. So these are the 3 levels that I'm going to do. I don't really want to do any more levels than that, unless you guys can think of other levels that you want me to do. But I think that'll be good. So Patreon, you just go to Patreon, you put in Vanagon, it should bring you to our site. And that's basically where we're at on that. I'll try to put a link in the description of this once the video is all said and done. But I think this is going to help us out. And then we can have some goals over here too. One of our goals we wanted to do was this trip to Hawaii we've been talking about for a while. With my dad's health right now, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Okay, so we're clicking back to me. I really don't know how it's going to work out, guys, to tell you the truth. I have to be here until there's some kind of a nurse or something that can help him out. So maybe that'll get resolved here in the next few days. I hope so. If it doesn't, then, I don't know when we can do that trip. But one of my goals on Patreon I would like to do is to, set a goal for this trip to Hawaii where we can go there. We can, really what's happening so far is I have enough airline miles to go there, okay, in October. Then I have a lady that says you can stay at our house while you're there, okay, because I'm going to be looking at her Vanagons. Okay, so then really my only expenses are going to be meals, and then if we want to do different excursions and go different places. So, that would be the goals, is like if you want me to go to this other rental place and interview them and find out what their Vanagon rental thing is like, we can do that for X amount of dollars. I'll calculate it out. Then, we can do like some kind of trip to another island and explore some other Vanagon related stuff, whether it be, more rental places on different islands, okay, because there's definitely Vanagon rental places on the different islands. I would like to go to the different places and just interview the people and talk about what their rental thing is like. That way, if any of you ever want to go there, okay, this place is like this place is like this, and I would love to rent from these guys. I mean, we're also going to be traveling around and seeing different spots, maybe where you could camp and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I really feel like it would be a win-win. Like, we would get a nice trip out of it, enjoy it that way, and we'd be bringing you guys along with us to see what things are like. So you can decide, hey, do I want to do this trip, or maybe I don't want to do this trip. Either way, you could kind of see that way. So let me know what you think about that. All right, do we have any questions in our thing right now?
Not really. Just like, I guess maybe back when you were talking about videos and whatever, okay, Inorganic was like, engine swap?
Engine swap, yeah. I mean, I have some videos about doing a Ford Focus engine swap. That was the latest one we've done. I've never done a Subaru one yet, but that's mostly because people have really kind of chickened out on me. I mean, I've been trying to not do as much mechanic work, like big projects like engine swaps, because of my dad's situation. And, you know, I never know when I'm going to have to just drop everything and deal with that. So, you know, I've had people call me. They're like, I definitely want you to work on my van. I want, you know, when can we schedule it? I'm like, I can't really schedule it right now. So that's basically what's going on that way. Sorry about that.
I mean, he said Jake.
His wife, just kidding. Okay. All right. So if you guys have any questions, think about that. Let me bring out some more stuff that I was going to look at real quick.
You got a bunch of fun toys today.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I don't know how interested you guys would be in some of this other stuff. I guess I could just make kind of some recommendations of some items that I like. I could put this on the store, I guess, and see if you guys wanted to buy it. What this is, and I've used this for a few years. I think it's looked reversed to me, but I think you guys should see it. There's this product. It's called Above Tech, and what it is, it's these fans that you can put on your dash. Okay, and I bought a set of these about a year ago just to see, you know, what it was like and how much I would like it. I'm sorry that it's dark, but the light up there blinds me to death.
We need to get an alternate lighting source.
I need to get another light or something, because I'm fine today. If I turn that light on, I'm going to have to put them orange sunglasses back on again.
I think if we got some
I don't think nobody wanted to see that last time.
Some softer lighting to go on either side instead of in your face.
But this is a really cool unit. You put this on your Vanagon dash. It sits on there real nice, like where that little hump is or whatever in the middle. And you can aim these. These will swivel. See this swiveling? Tilts up and down. Okay. And you can aim these for the driver and passenger. And it has like multiple speeds on here. And it's like 2 speeds, and they're pretty quiet. It just plugs into your cigarette lighter, and I mean, I'm telling you, this makes a big difference. Like if you're, like I had a van that I was driving a couple of days ago, and with me, my allergies is like annihilate me. So most people, you know, they just start wind the windows down. If I do that, I have to pay. I'm paying for it for like 3 or 4 days later. I'm paying for it. But if you have this, you can crack the windows or maybe do the vent wing thing, and then you're getting like nice airflow onto your face. I mean, it feels really good. Now, if you have like air conditioning, Westy, and you guys know about that, where the air's in the back. I mean, these fans make a big difference. Picking up that air and just blowing it back on you, it just circulates the air. It feels just a million times better than, you know, getting that cold air in the back of your neck. You're getting it to blow back onto your face and your neck, which is where you want. You want to cool like right this area right here. Right, my daughter taught me that. If you can cool this area right here, that's what controls your sense of feeling hot, and you'll cool your whole body down. So if you guys are interested in fans, I mean, I can put a link on the site for them if you wanted to check them out. They're just great, and they're well made. I had it in there for like a whole year, and it was really, really great. So that was one of the things I can kind of recommend. Another item that I have used lots of times, I'll grab it real quick, is this radio. You can buy these on Amazon as well. The Alpine CDE 143BT. Okay, there you go. And what this is a, this is the nice side. Okay. There's different, yeah, but this is in French. All right, so, all right, all you French people out there, you can read this. Lecture CD USB avec Bluetooth intégré. Right.
Please don't butcher the French language.
If you're not into French,
oh my word.
all right, what it is, it's a CD player, of course, because, you know, this is 1996, so we have to have a CD player. Then, because because it's not like 2017 like we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's 1996. I'm in denial. All right. Then it's got a removable face, of course. It's got the CD player, which can also play MP3s and WMAs and MMRs and WWFs and all this other stuff. I don't know. I'm just making up words. Then it also has a USB port thing on the front, so you can plug in a little stick deal and play music off of that. And it even has like a little jack on the front. So if you have like just like an old Marconi radio that you have to turn it on, has tubes inside that glow, and it takes like 5 minutes. And if you can make some kind of a jack thing and plug it in here, it'll play that. Okay, you probably don't have that. I hope not, because that's like 1957. But so I mean, this is a nice radio. I've installed like a bagillion of them. There's another nice feature to this radio that is not listed in any of its features, I don't think, on Amazon, which is it actually has a little microphone that you put. I usually put it in front of like the tack area right there. It has like double-sided tape. You can stick it down, and that microphone allows you to make hands-free phone calls when you're driving down the road. Yeah, like you need that because if you're driving down the road, you're not supposed to be talking on your phone without the hands-free situation. Okay, I'm about to have a parts avalanche over here. So you're supposed to have hands-free dialing. I hate to tell you that. If you don't, you can get fined. This thing here, this radio, it's around $100. It's not very expensive, really. And it just does all kinds of stuff. But the hands-free talking thing works great. I have used it many, many times. I actually have one particular customer who basically insisted on this radio. He has them installed in 3 of his vans, and he wants it installed in another one because it's like, I love having the hands-free calling, driving down the road, and talking to people on the phone. And it works really great that way. And I think you can also, it has Bluetooth, so you can stream from your phone on it, all that good stuff. All right, do we have any questions, any more questions?
No.
Man, you guys are lame today. What is up with this stuff?
Just
all right, so I had some stuff. They're being entertained. All right. So, this right here is your leg joint. And, of course, you want to make sure your leg joints work good. This is not a leg joint. I hope you didn't think that was an anatomy lesson. All right, this is your shifter stuff for like the 83 to 91 Vanagons. Okay, it does resemble some kind of a knee hip joint or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully we'll never need any of that. But this right here, these 2 pieces, and we have a whole kit for this rear shifter stuff, is the source of a lot of problems with shifting, because some Vanagons just shift kind of bad, and really they're not supposed to. They shift really great when everything's good. Like, I know some of you guys that came out of the bus world, and when you try to shift in a bus, it's kind of like you have to shift by faith in a bus. You're just kind of like, this thing, nope, 4th gear. Oh, I got it right. And you just shifting like by feel and stuff because they're so vague and the shifting is garbage. Even the early split window buses are even worse. When they got to the Vanagon, they did a lot of thinking about stuff. They actually had 2 different versions of the shift linkage, and the first version was kind of meh. And then the second version is like, bing! Okay, so when they got to this version, they really did a great job designing it, and it holds up really well. But what happens over time is this part here. So this is your lower shift cup deal. It gets worn out in here. Okay, dirt gets in here. There's a boot that goes between these 2 parts, actually. So you put them 2. There's a boot on here normally covers this and keeps all the dirt out. That boot just, magical fairies come and take it away. I'm looking at her to see if she believes that. No.
Of course
not. It just disintegrates over time. Fairies don't exist? Stop crushing my dreams. And this boot just disintegrates and falls apart. And then dirt gets in here because it's a nice cup to capture all that. And there's some grease in here, so it just absorbs into the dirt. Then over time, this whole thing's kind of doing until finally this whole inside of this is all kind of like wore out almost into the shape of a V. And this thing here is all worn down, so it's all loose and sloppy. So then you're shifting, you're like, stupid van shifts like trash. I can't believe it. Okay, it's because the stuff's wore out. So if you have bad shifting, I would recommend getting this kit. It is called Shifter Kit. That's a good question. Shifter Kit 1, I think. I have 2 kits on there. I'll have to look real quick. Let me look it up. I think it's either Shifter Kit 1 or Shifter Kit 2. I know the names are like super duper expressive. But what it does, it replaces all those pieces in your rear shifting. Now, if you have an 83 to 80 to 83, it's a completely different beast. We do have parts for that as well, but they're not in a kit form. They're just in the individual pieces. And as far as I know, I'm like one of the only people that actually has any parts for the early Vanagon shifting. Excuse me. It is called Shifter Kit 2. That is for the rear. We do have one for the front as well called Shifter Kit 1. But just to be super honest with you, the front kit stuff doesn't make as much of a difference. Okay? So if you want to make a difference in how it shifts and make it shift better, I would go with this rear kit, the Shifter Kit 2. So the front kit, a lot of times what happens there is the shifter just drops down because this one plastic ring breaks, and then the whole thing doesn't want to shift at all. That would be Shifter Kit 1, and that's all the front stuff. So we do have that as well. But yeah, so check this out on our website, Shifter Kit 2. It's $100. It's these 2 pieces, the boot. There's like a pin that goes in here that secures it, and then there's another bushing that goes onto the shifter rod that goes like to the front and the back. All that stuff, you put that in, the thing will like tighten everything up, and it will shift really, really good. Okay, you want to lubricate it too. I use that white lithium grease on there, and that helps a lot. All right, anybody come up with questions while we were doing all them rants?
Nope.
Raves?
Let's show off some more toys.
More toys. All right, what else do we got to show off today? She don't know. All right, let me show you these. This is another kind of just a recommendation.
That was what I was thinking.
These Pioneer speakers right here. These are TS A1072Rs. Again, you can buy them on Amazon. They fit pretty perfectly into the holes that are already in the doors and also in the back. And they are not that deep. Okay, on the back of here it says that they're basically 1 5/8 inch deep. Okay, they're very low profile this way, but they put out a lot of sound. They're great speakers, so they're not going to interfere with anything like your window crankings or anything like that. So I would recommend these. If you guys need new speakers for your doors, these work great. Now, are they speakers that will blow the house down and blow the doors off, and you know, as soon as you turn on your radio, everybody's going to start dancing in the streets and stuff? No. But, you know, you got to be realistic. I mean, it's just a little speaker. It's like this 3 inches or something. I mean, what do you want? So don't get all crazy. You can buy one of those little bazooka deals and set them in there somewhere. And that's for your base. That'll be your base.
This is for personal enjoyment, not a rave.
Yeah, this is not like, I mean, I've had people come here, man. They've got like speakers, you know what I'm saying? Like in the back, they're sitting on top of the motor. If the motor dies, they can just turn the radio on, and the sound will just propel them down the road by sheer beats and things.
Oh my gosh, like Lucio.
Yeah, like Lucio from Overwatch. All right.
Okay, so Inorganic says, I have rust spots on/under the window seals. How can I fix that? I'm trying to avoid a full paint job and hoping that I can fix it myself. They are smaller than the size of a dime. Okay,
so you're going to have to pull those windows out to do that. I mean, what I would recommend is getting new window seals for those windows, which they're not that bad. We have them in stock. and then you can cut the window seals all the way around with a razor blade, and then the windows will come out real easily then. And then once you get the windows out, you can sand it. You can use some rust inhibitor on it, and then even do what they call spot putty, which is this little small, kind of like Bondo, but it's just for little tiny spots. You can use spot putty on it, and then resand it back smooth. Just maybe tape off that little area and paint that, just so you got it sealed, because the spot putty doesn't seal anything. And then once you do that, you can use the new seal and put it back in. That's the best way to deal with it. I've did it lots of times. I've tried using epoxy too, instead of spot putty. That seems to work pretty good. I don't know what the long-term ramifications is. Like, the nice part about epoxy is, like, have used JB Weld before. The nice part about it is that seals it. Okay, so if you put the rust inhibitor on it and then you put the JB Weld over it, that will definitely seal it. Now, when you go to sand it, it's not quite as nice to sand as spot putty or Bondo. So it looks the finished product of it, if you look real close, sometimes you can see like lines and different things on the JB Weld. But really, spot putty should be your thing to go to.
Vanagon Land Jay says, good job, Ken. Blessings to your dad. And then Steve says, recommended AFM repair place. I know of one place only, fuelinjectioncorp.com, which I hear Bus Depot uses.
Yeah, Fuel Injection Corporation. I mean, that's really the only place besides Cardone. Okay, so, I mean, Cardone is another place. They have repair things in Mexico, and it's kind of hit and miss with them. Sometimes the stuff comes back to them great, and sometimes it comes back not working that great. But actually, Fuel Injection Corporation is pretty much the same. Okay, I mean, the bad part is neither one of these places have a Vanagon at the place to put it in and test it, and it seems like bench testing it is limited. So if you want to try Cardone, that you can actually use Rock Auto and but everything I think is R&R. So in other words, you're sending in your unit, they're redoing it. Fuel Injection Corporation is going to be the same thing. Okay, we have a thing with them too. If you want to send us yours, we can try to get it rebuilt. That way, I've sold lots of good used airflow meters over the years, but there's always a lifespan on everything, and we're probably getting close to that, So those are really the only two places I know about that do anything. Even when I see rebuilt airflow meters that are on websites in Europe, they pretty much are getting them from Fuel Injection Corporation, because it'll have a logo on it that shows that. Okay, so hey, at least you guys are in the same country with the rebuilder versus the Europeans where they're dealing with stuff. I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers who may be watching, I don't know, from Greece. Okay, so last week I asked guys to shout out if you're in another country. We had people in Canada, we had people in Australia, but there was a guy watching last week that was from Greece that didn't even say anything. Then he proceeded to Facebook message me like to death on Saturday. And then he tried to do it again on Sunday. And I'm like, dude, I have to have a day off. He's like, okay, Monday. Then he started Facebook and messaging me like crazy on Monday as well. So, shout out to the young man in Greece. I hope hope things worked out good for you, buddy. All right, do we have another one?
Oh, he says hi again.
Oh, the Grecian man is on here. All right. All right, well, so we got viewers in Greece now. That's good. Cool. All right, anybody else have any questions today before we might close it down early? Like I said, I'm so tired from, dealing with my dad's stuff today. But I appreciate you guys' patience on that. I hate to put that on you guys, but that's just one of them things. I did get one more thing this week that I guess I could mention if you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. All right, let me grab a couple things. So we got these repair panels here. They are listed on the site. Basically what this is, I'm going to put it on diagonal so you can see it. This is that seam that always rusts out. Okay, so if you want to replace that seam, these panels are nice. You can see it actually replaces, like, from behind this area here. This is from right behind the front driver's door, okay, to this first seam here. Then this whole entire rocker panel seam here, okay. Then it has another seam back here, and then it's right at where there's like a little bump. That's where it stops. So you got like a lot of surface area replacing. The other nice part is if you replace this repair panel, you're actually replacing the seam completely with a false seam that's embossed on here. And the same thing with this seam. They're both being replaced with these false seams so that, you know, in the future you should never have to have a rust out there again, because it's not a real seam anymore. It's just an imprint. Okay. And so these are on the site. I think they're about $90. And it's made by a company called Klokkerholm, which is in Denmark or something, Germany maybe. That was one thing. And then this other thing, something that some Vanagons are having problems with, and we have these on the site too. These are, oh my gosh, it's really sealed in here. Your rear view mirror, okay? So what people are having problems with these, this is like an aftermarket version of that, but it's actually really nicely made. And what happens to them is they disintegrate back here on this back side to the point where you try to move the mirror and it's like, I mean, it's like there's nothing here. Okay, so these are brand new. They're black. The ones that disintegrate usually are the brown ones. And yeah, there's no hope for brown. I'm sorry, guys. I have talked to people all over trying to get brown window cranks, trying to get brown interior pieces made. I don't know what that brown stuff was made out of back in the day. It doesn't hold up. That's one problem in the sun. And the other problem is it must be made out of like 1980s sauce or something, because nobody has it. Like they're like brown, Oh no, I'm like, you make it in black, right? Why not brown? Nope, not gonna happen. All right, so if you guys are waiting on brown interior parts for your dash, for your little window cranks, for your little things around the steering columns and all that stuff, I mean, the only thing I can say is buy black stuff and paint it brown, because that's the only way you're going to get it. I've talked to Classic Volkswagen about it. I've talked to manufacturers in Malaysia that make all kinds of other stuff, like this mirror here, and they just look at me like I'm the most craziest person that ever lived, because they're never going to make any brown stuff. All right, anybody else have any questions?
Someone is joining us, Jim. I'm going to attempt to say your last name, but I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. I'm going to say Geddes?
Okay, Jim Geddes.
Geddes, maybe, possibly. I'm going to call you Jim. He says, hi from Canso, Nova Scotia, Canada.
All right.
Another Canadian.
Another Canadian. There's lots of Canadians out there, guys. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in Canada, they have like a Westie get-together every year. They have like over 1,000 Westies there. I mean, it ain't no joke. And there's a guy up there, Frank Condelli, who is, you know, part of that whole Westie, you know, thing up there. He's been on the Vanagon list for as long as I have, and he's a great guy. The only thing I wish is in the wintertime, he closes down completely and goes to Mexico all winter.
Wow.
Must be nice. So, you know, he's a great guy, and he supports all these guys up there, but we do the same thing. We support a lot of Canadian folks. I mean, every week we get probably, we almost get one order to Canada a day, it seems like. And some days we get more. So, all right, anybody else have any questions? I'm just trying to think if I have anything else I wanted to show you guys.
I mean, if we don't, we could always just sign off early.
Yeah, we could do that. We could let you guys off the hook early this week. What do you think? Then you can go out and play. You can go play hopscotch and all the other fun stuff that you're not doing while you're watching this video. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys don't have any more questions, I can just sign off for now and definitely come up with some more stuff for next week. You know, I have some more ideas. Like, hopefully next week I'll have this South African grill thing figured out, and I can show you guys that. And there's some more toys in the works that I'm working on. You know, but like I said, the thing with my father right now is kind of just putting a damper on stuff until we can get that situated. So like I said, we appreciate your prayers and kind thoughts about him. And some of you folks don't even know it, but he definitely worked on your vans when it was here. Put some new floors in it or whatever. He was really good with. He's good with welding and stuff like that. And also removing broken bolts and stuff. I mean, he could teach a class on that. There's been lots of times when I've had broken anything, and he'll take it apart and we get that taken care of. So he's 76 now. It's, you know, he needs to start slowing down, I guess. But hopefully he can get some of his mobility and independence back. That's what we're looking for. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for this week. Sorry it was not as long as normal, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys get more smiles per gallon. So get a chance, go check out our Patreon page. I'm going to put a link in the description once this video is up and going. And
Daniel Peckham says thanks.
Oh, no problem, Dan. And we definitely appreciate Dan. He's been a supporter for like all along. So, you know, but we're going to set the Patreon page up. And I would encourage you guys, if you feel like you're going to be making Bounty Gun purchases in the next 6 months, I mean, getting a 10% discount on all of your purchases is a big deal. And $20 a month, that's going to pay for itself really quick. So check that out. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Get more smiles per gallon with your van. And all you guys on Saturday morning cartoons. You know, I'm sorry I couldn't be more crazy this week like we normally are. It's just a little bit of a somber week for us. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for coming. Talk to you later on.